Hey, Jason Rice here with Lotpop. Going to do a quick tip here. As you see up here, Lot Party. We upload all these video tips on our YouTube channel. Also try to put them over to our podcast, which allow you to listen there on iTunes and any podcast device. You should be able to receive these hundreds of about 130 or so videos and tips. But this is kind of a warning with the next 45 days. I was on a call with a client earlier today. The inventory is flowing really good. And I think we do have about a 30 to 45 day window of good traffic. We're going to see, hopefully, traditionally, what we tend to see is February gives us the highest shopper counts in the market. If you want to challenge me on that, just log into your auto trader and look at shopper counts. You can go back to February, I believe, of last year in March. But February, March tend to be some of the highest shoppers in the market, and we get some of the best months in March. Best sales you typically fall into March in most dealers' lots. Obviously, due to the end of the year or the beginning of the year tax season time. Now, there are some outlining factors that can affect this year. Obviously, there's some delays on return with the shutdown of the government. They say it wasn't going to affect it, but also seeing headlines of people seeing anywhere from about 8 to 10% less in their tax return. So the tax season has been pretty soft over the last couple years. And you top that off with lighter tax returns. It could be a little funky this year, but what we tend to find, and it's been year after year, and you guys, if you track this out, know it already, or at least this will ring a bell, is it seems like every April things start slowing down. You're going to see shopper counts drop off. Again, if you want to look at, if you happen to have Auto Trader, look at your shopper count from March to April. Some markets will see anywhere from a 10 to 15% drop off. And then I also remember quite a bit that we hit that April month after a good strong February, March, and a lot of dealers hit April and wonder what the heck happened. It's like the faucet got shut off. All of a sudden we're buying or selling all these cars and now no one's coming in the door. And April brings, typically in a lot of markets is a break in the weather. A lot of people have cabin fever and they're in. All of a sudden the weather breaks, they start doing yard work, they start taking their kids to spring events like baseball practice and things, and they get distracted. I know we will. We're gonna fall in that category. And most people that were going to buy a car probably already did it February, March when they did get their tax return. Most people that delay filing taxes end up owing taxes anyway. So that's the reason why they delay late. So you might have a decent 1 or 2 weeks of April. And then again, once that weather breaks, people already done their taxes, it shuts off. I warn you, I did a warning because that's only 45 days from now. April 1st is about 46 days from now. But so what you're carrying now, if they get held out to 60 days, if you buy a car today and it gets held out on your lot to 60 days, that's mid-April when things are going to get light. And one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of dealerships do, they have a strong, good February inventory flowing. They go into March and they keep that inventory buying cycle going because, man, they're selling some cars. Things are moving good. Mid-March, they're still buying at the volume that they had been selling over the last 30 and 45 days. And then come April, all of a sudden they're left holding the bag and they're scrambling. And we got to use a lot of times April and May to start eating out of these cars that we overstocked in March, hoping that that traffic continues. And it typically hasn't. So that's kind of been my warning right now, is prepare for that. It's only 45 days around the corner. And, again, anything that's within 2 weeks old or newer on your lot right now is going to be 60 days old when April hits. And do you want to be holding that bag? And then by then, usually wholesale starts dropping off because volumes start dropping off. More mid-April into April is when those wholesale values start dropping off because dealers stop buying and all of a sudden things come in cheaper. So giving you a heads up, that's not that far around the corner. You want to prepare your inventory right now. Don't let today's traffic, the busyness of today and the next few weeks distract you from what's coming around the corner. And April is one of those months where things start getting soft. And historically, if you look at your sales, it's probably one of your lighter months sometimes, unless you've done some big sales special or things like that. But check that out. Be prepared for it. It's coming before you know it. It's just like Christmas. We know it's on the calendar every year, but we forget about it until all of a sudden, oh crap, I need to be buying some Christmas presents. So this April is right around the corner. April, May tends to be sometimes those softer months as spring is hitting, people doing spring break vacations, preparing for the summer and things like that. So keep your inventory flowing. You might be able to hold out right now. I'm seeing the biggest shopper counts in a ton of markets. So you might be able to hold out a little bit more in your pricing right now. Some of the things that we're tracking with our clients is last week and this week data, meaning we're holding on to last week's inventory data and then dumping this week's inventory data. And we can see if the price to market has gone up or down, meaning last week you're at 98%, and this week you're at 100%. So that would indicate the market dropped, and so we need to adjust. But here lately, over the last few calls I'm doing, I'm actually seeing the market get better. They were at 100%, now they're at 98%, meaning the market actually went up. And so I'm seeing more of that than not, that their market's gotten better in some of those cars. And then day supply on a lot of cars, again, we'll look at last week's day supply. Maybe it was 90 and this week it's at 80, meaning that car's moving a little better. And so we're seeing that, and we're seeing higher shopper counts. So we might be a seller's market over the next couple weeks, but again, don't let that and or the current traffic skew you off of keeping that inventory turning, because April is just right around the corner, and it usually bottlenecks a lot of people, especially by mid-April. So keep that in mind. Again, if you want a free inventory evaluation, we can go through your listings, your photos, how you're pricing, maybe your bleed through on a call, and give you some insight on what you can do to make adjustments. And then obviously we can go over what we can do to help you there. We do weekly calls with our stores. We do price changes with them. Just go to lotpop.com. We also have a Lotpop University going on. I did a 2-day event. I'm going to do a 2-day event. We have one here coming up in next week, but we're also going to continue to do those each month. If you just go to lotpopuniversity.com, it's a 2-day entrenched course where we're limited to just 5 people. We're going to go through all the metrics you need to be tracking and trending. You don't need to be a client. We're going to show you what you need to be looking at, pulling up your inventory, how to adjust pricing, what you should narrow a car down to, how to appraise a car, how to prevent bleed through, things like that, how to keep that inventory flowing, what to be buying, what to be looking at when you're buying. We're going to entrench that person into kind of being that certified used car manager, going back with everything they need. So check out Lotpop University. Again, check out Lotpop Inc. on YouTube. All this goes up and on the podcast. 844-LOTPOP4, or just email me at jrice@lotpop.com. Thanks.